The royal family has commemorated Remembrance Sunday in a socially distanced ceremony, but some royal members were excluded from the event.
Yeah, 9Honey's royal commentator Natalie Oliveri joins us now this morning. Nat, it was a ceremony like no other. Who didn't attend it?
Good morning, David and Belinda. Well, it was a very scaled-back Remembrance Sunday at the Cenotaph at Whitehall in London, with senior members of the royal family coming together for the first time since March because of the coronavirus lockdowns. Now, the Queen watched the ceremony from the balcony of the Foreign Office. She stood alone by herself there. On another balcony was the Duchess of Cambridge, and she was keeping her distance from Camilla, the Duchess of Cornwall. On another balcony was Sophie, the Countess of Wessex. Princess Anne was also there, and her husband, Sir Timothy Lawrence. Now, down below, the Prince of Wales laid a wreath on behalf of the Queen. He was joined by Prince William and Prince Edward. But who was noticeably absent? Well, Prince Harry, of course, because he is in the US at the moment, unable to travel to the UK because of the coronavirus, and also Prince Andrew. Now, he officially retired from all public duties in November last year because of the Jeffrey Epstein scandal, but Harry and Andrew are always regulars at Remembrance Sunday, so their absence was highly noted.
And Nat, there are reports that Prince Harry actually asked for a wreath to be laid on his behalf, but it was rejected from the palace. What happened?
Yeah, that's right. The Times in London is reporting that Prince Harry put in a request with Buckingham Palace to have someone from the royal family lay a wreath on his behalf at the Cenotaph, but palace courtiers rejected that request because Prince Harry is no longer representing the monarchy. When Harry and Meghan officially stepped down as senior members of the royal family in March, they agreed that they would no longer represent the Queen, and that's basically why this has been rejected. Now, the Times
That's
also...
rubbish, I reckon.
It's pretty slack, I have to say.
I mean, he served their country. It doesn't matter if he's monarchy or not. He was a high-profile member of the armed forces over there.
He certainly did. So he was in the army for 10 years. He did 2 tours of duty in Afghanistan. He, of course, created the Invictus Games for wounded servicemen and women. Now, look, the Times reports that the Queen wasn't made aware of Prince Harry's request, so one would sort of assume that had she been told, perhaps she would have intervened. But look, Prince Harry and Meghan have laid their own wreath at a ceremony in Los Angeles. They were photographed at the Los Angeles Cemetery during a private visit. We have those photos of Harry and Meghan there. Meghan wearing a face mask, and they put a note on the wreath which reads, "To all those who have served and are serving, thank you." So look, even though Prince Harry was not able to be at the Cenotaph, he's been doing that since 2009, since he was 25 years old. So he did get to pay his respects in some way. But I have to say that his request being rejected by Buckingham Palace is a bit of a blow to Harry. Look, part of their agreement was that Harry wouldn't be able to use his military titles, and it's part of a 1-year review with the Queen. So it's looking very unlikely that he will be allowed back into the fold.
Yeah, it's gonna draw a line in the sand there when they do finally meet up and try and sort this out. Look, we do know that England's going through a massive second wave of coronavirus, and the Queen, her first time of wearing a face mask in a solo engagement happened on the weekend too.
Yeah, this was a pretty significant thing. So the Queen was pictured at Westminster Abbey. This actually happened on Wednesday. She went to a private ceremony at the Abbey to mark 100 years since the burial of the unknown soldier at the tomb there. The Queen wore a face mask. It's believed to be created by her senior dresser, Angela Kelly. Now, look, the Queen received quite a lot of backlash when she stepped out with Prince William on October 16 in Salisbury for an engagement there, and she didn't wear a face mask, and many people were wondering why. So now the Queen is pictured wearing a mask. I think this really has to do with the UK, parts of the UK going into the second lockdowns. The Queen is sending a message to her people that they should be taking the virus seriously, that people should be following health orders by wearing face masks in public and keeping their distance, really.
Yeah, she sure does. Moving on, Nat, and one of Princess Diana's closest friends is claiming that interviewer Martin Bashir forged a letter from her stating she was not coerced into the Panorama interview. Tell us more.
So the 1995 Panorama interview with Martin Bashir is subject to a BBC inquiry. It's alleged by this woman, Simone Simmons, who was a friend of Princess Diana, and also Princess Diana's brother, that journalist Martin Bashir used fake documents, forged banknotes, and a raft of other things to actually trick Diana into speaking with him, preying on fears that she was being spied on by MI5. Now, the BBC denies that the letter is fake. They say Princess Diana did write the letter, that she, in that letter, she says she was not coerced into speaking with the journalist, that she did it on her own accord. But look, questions are being raised because the letter has disappeared. You know, it's nowhere to be found, and the BBC knows that. They have said that the document has been lost. Now, former Palace Press Secretary Dickie Arbiter, who was working at the Palace at the time of the interview, he says that Princess Diana would never have written an official letter because it wasn't her style, and he says that if the letter in fact did exist, there's no way the BBC would have lost it because of its historical importance. So lots of questions being raised, and Earl Spencer, Diana's brother, has called for another inquiry into this interview. Dickie Arbiter also says that lots of questions surround, you know, why did Diana choose Martin Bashir as the journalist she spoke with? Because at the time he was very unknown. Being the Princess of Wales, she could have had her choice of people to speak with.
Sure.
So lots of questions over that particular interview.
There is, and that really did make Martin Bashir's name, and he went on to interview then Michael Jackson famously and other people. This is a big story. Let's quickly move on to something a bit lighter. One of the Spice Girls has launched a new royal YouTube series. I was not expecting this pivot in 2020.
Look, this is certainly a bizarre one. Jerry Halliwell, formerly Ginger Spice, has now tried her hand at acting. She's playing the role of Queen Elizabeth I. So we see her dressed up there.
Look at her.
Look, I have to say the red hair suits her, and it's she looks quite good as the Queen. She's of course not the first person to play the role of Queen Elizabeth I, who was known as the Virgin Queen. Kate Blanchett, Margot Robbie have all done this, but this particular series is airing on YouTube. It's called Rainbow Woman. We don't know a whole lot about it, but let's have a little look at it now.
Oh, okay.
That's it.
That's all we've got.
Intriguing.
All right, Natalie, great to have you on. A lot happening in the Royals at the moment.
Yes.
Good to see you. For more information, head to 9honey.com.au.